Does this ever happen to you? You know what you want to say, but you keep pausing because you're using the same connectors over and over again? Because. Here's the thing. Native speakers don't sound fluent because we use fancy, complicated words. We sound fluent because of cohesion. We know how to link our thoughts together so one sentence glides smoothly into the next without stopping. So, in this video, I'm going to give you 10 advanced linking phrases that native speakers use every day. But before we get into it, I've linked the best app for learning English in the description for you. It's called Airlearn and you can download it today. Alright, let's jump right into this lesson. Let me ask you a question. When someone asks you, "How was your weekend?" or "Tell me about your trip," how do you start your answer? You see, most learners say something basic like, "I'm going to tell you about my trip," or they just get right into it. But a lot of native speakers will start with a linking phrase. So the first phrase I want to teach you today is "what comes to mind is." Okay? What comes to mind is. Notice how natural that sounds. So one example is, "What comes to mind is the last few days of my trip." This sounds very smooth, doesn't it? Now, once you open your story, you need to arrive at the next scene. You need to give us some context. So that's where linking phrase number 2 comes in handy. To give you some background. This is a very common phrase. This instantly signals to the listener that you're painting a picture for them. You should always follow this phrase with what you were doing or what you had done. Let's use it in an example. To give you some background, it rained nonstop for the entirety of our trip. We couldn't do any of the things we had planned. See how effortlessly the first linking phrase and the second one connected? Now, when you get to the most exciting or memorable part of a story, don't just tell your listener, "I really liked X," or "X was good." If you want to sound fluent and like a native speaker, use phrase number 3. What really stood out was. This acts like an immediate highlight in your conversation, and it's telling the listener, pay attention. So let's use it in an example. What really stood out was how by the end of the trip, we all felt glad that we stayed inside those 4 days. And finally, when you're finishing a story and reflecting on what had happened, use phrase number 4, in hindsight. Okay, you'll hear this phrase a lot as well in English, in hindsight. I want you to be very careful when you use this phrase though, because it's confusing for a lot of learners. You only use in hindsight when you're looking back at the past and realizing you should have done something differently. So you can often pair it with should've or could've. Let's look at an example. In hindsight, it's best not to get too attached to plans. We could have went with the flow from the beginning. Okay, let's move on to our next section. This is all about expressing opinions and explanations. These linking phrases will be very helpful to have deeper conversations if you want to disagree politely or explain why something happened. So when someone asks for your opinion on a topic, many learners will say, "I think this, I think that," and it's fine, but that also gets boring very fast. If you want to level up your English and sound more fluent, use phrase number 5, "I tend to think." Or you can use phrase number 6, "personally speaking." Now, these might sound similar to "I think," but they're actually way more powerful. They add nuance. For example, if I say, "I think remote work is bad," that sounds really harsh and stubborn, very strong opinion. But saying, "I tend to think remote work can make communication harder," it sounds thoughtful, polite, and open-minded, which can lead to a better conversation. So native speakers use this buffer phrase, "I tend to," all the time to sound more balanced. Now, what if someone asks you why you think something is happening? Instead of jumping straight into the sentence with because this, because that, you can adjust how certain you sound using these connectors. If you aren't 100% sure, and you're just speculating, guessing, then use phrase number 7, okay? One possible explanation is, for example, I ask you, "Why are people so stressed lately?" Then you can respond, "Well, one possible explanation is that we're on our phones 24/7. But if you're completely sure about the reason, then use this phrase. It's undoubtedly because. This is something that will make you sound fluent very easily. And be careful when you're pronouncing undoubtedly. We don't pronounce that B, it's completely silent, undoubtedly. Let's look at an example. It's undoubtedly because life has gotten way more expensive this year. This adds conviction and confidence to whatever you're saying. All right, what about when you're talking about the future or, again, speculating about possibilities? Instead of repeating this overused phrase, maybe, let's replace it with phrase number 9. It could well be that. Let's look at an example. Compare these two sentences. Maybe inflation will be worse next year. It could well be that inflation continues to rise next year. Do you hear the difference? The second sentence sounds articulate, controlled, and more fluent. And finally, when you've been debating a topic or looking at two different sides of an issue and you want to give your final verdict, use this phrase, phrase number 10, all things considered. Now, many textbooks will teach you this phrase, in conclusion. This definitely sounds more like something you would write in an essay in high school. All things considered is way more natural. All things considered, it was a risk worth taking. Let me put all 10 of these very common and useful linking phrases on screen right now so you can take a quick note. Let's also say them aloud once more. Actually, what comes to mind is, this is great for starting a story or if someone asks you about a personal thing in your life. To give you some background, this is useful for setting the scene and giving context for your story. What really stood out was, this is great for emphasizing something important. In hindsight, you use this to reflect on a regret or something that you've learned. I tend to think. Use this to give a subtle, thoughtful opinion. Personally speaking, this is for sharing your opinion again, but it sounds quite balanced. One possible explanation is, this is a soft reason. It's undoubtedly because this is stronger. You have a specific reason. It could well be that you're speculating on something. All things considered, this is for summarizing your final opinion, your final verdict. All right, here's my challenge for you today, your one takeaway. Don't force all these 10 linking phrases into your speech or don't force yourself to use them every day. Pick 2 or 3 from this list right now, use them in a sentence in the comments. And after this, you can try to choose one a day to practice with. And remember, if you want an easy way to build these phrases into your memory so you don't forget them, then definitely check out Airlearn. It's built around giving you repeated exposure to real-word English chunks, connectors, and everyday vocabulary. Alright, that's it for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching. Keep practicing and I'll see you next time. Bye.